What did you say when Biden called you and said he wasn't running? Well, I immediately thought of him first. No, you didn't. You know, I mean, fracking. Dana Bash had her dead to rights. I was like, you said this. I have the quote. I'm reading it to you. You said there should be a ban on fracking. Why can't they just go, yeah, you know what? I got it wrong. I was talking to the wrong people. You know, she's had this ridiculously high turnover.
Bill Maher just torched CNN on live TV. And trust me, this might be the most brutal takedown he's delivered all year. He accused the network of bending over backward to protect Kamala Harris while relentlessly hammering Donald Trump, calling CNN's coverage a disaster disguised as journalism. And here's the kicker. Maher says this biased cheerleading is exactly why Harris collapsed so fast on the national stage. According to Maher, CNN wasn't informing viewers. They were running political PR for Democrats. And the blowback is finally catching up. This is Maher at his sharpest, most unapologetic, and most fed up with the media. Buckle up. This one burns. Smash that subscribe button if you haven't yet, and let's dive in.
CNN is the place where both sides can watch. And
I'm talking about the people on CNN. And what I know what the conservative side of America thinks, and I don't blame them. They were just gushing about how great a speech it was. And I think she did fine. I didn't think it was as good as they were making it out to be.
If you've been watching closely, you already know CNN treated Kamala Harris like she was America's last great hope, even when she said something barely coherent. A simple, "we must do better," was treated like she'd solved world hunger. Panels, professors, strategists, all rushing in to hype up lines that wouldn't pass a basic political speech class. And here's where Maher threw the nuclear punch. He called out CNN's coverage for exactly what it was: desperate fangirling packaged as news. He said CNN wasn't reporting. They were manufacturing a myth, polishing Harris into something she never was. And the moment he said it, every illusion they built shattered.
I don't think that you can say that CNN is anything but fair. Everyone who was speaking last night, it's not like they were all Democrats. I mean, we had Dana Bash, Jake Tapper, Abby Phillip.
They come across
giving
that way.
Analysis.
They come across that way. In a moment like that, it was like 5-1. It always looks like 5-1.
Caitlin Collins tried to defend CNN with her classic nothing to worry about tone, claiming the network covers Republican events and even invites GOP guests. But Maher wasn't buying it. Sure, they invite conservatives, but only to outnumber them 5-1 and turn them into punching bags. Maher even compared CNN's setup to The View, a brutal comparison for a network that prides itself on being serious journalism. His point? It's not a debate. It's an ambush disguised as analysis.
Conservatives do not trust CNN because it is so staunchly anti-Trump. He's not wrong, because they'll put on people like Adam Kinzinger or Anna Navarro, George Conway, and call them Republicans, or pretend that's being balanced by putting them on by saying, oh, see, these conservatives don't even like Trump. Only Scott Jennings over there can be called a conservative. And Maher is right. It's almost always 5-1 on shows they portray as news programs.
It's no mystery why so many viewers don't trust CNN anymore. Their idea of balance is tossing in a token Republican who either can't argue or barely qualifies as conservative. These guests aren't there to offer pushback. They're props, convenient targets for the liberal panel to dunk on so everyone can pat themselves on the back. And Maher hates that. Viewers aren't stupid. They know when the conversation is rigged. That's why independents and conservatives tune out. CNN isn't offering dialogue. It's offering a scripted performance.
Do you have the time? Your answer is not, I do. If you, do you have the time? Right. Yes, it's 4 o'clock. Well, you have to understand that words don't always mean what they mean.
And when Tim Walz said, like, the American people, I talk like they do. No, you don't. No, you don't. You're a huge liar, like all politicians are. I don't care, by the way. I've always said this about politics. They're all going to lie. They're politics. It's what they lie about. I don't give what you did during the Iraq War. You were in the Guard. So I don't understand why they just can't. You're just insulting my intelligence.
Maher didn't stop there. he went straight after Kamala Harris and Tim Walz for the lies they delivered during their soft, friendly interviews. Walz often exaggerates his political accomplishments and even his military background, trying to sell himself as a tough, seasoned leader. Kamala has her own greatest hits, confidently claiming she visited the border when she hadn't, and pretending Joe Rogan refused to have her on his podcast when that was never true. Maher shredded these claims immediately. To him, this isn't normal politics. It's manufactured credibility protected by a media that refuses to challenge it.
You know, I mean, fracking. Dana Bash had her dead to rights. It's like, you said this. I have the quote. I'm reading it to you. You said there should be a ban on fracking. Why can't they just go, yeah, you know what? I got it wrong. I was talking to the wrong people. You know, she's had this ridiculously high turnover. Like 42 of 47 people as vice president are gone. Just blame it on them. You know why these assholes are gone? Gave me the wrong information on fracking.
That's classic Kamala Harris. Dodge the question, shift the blame, and hope no one notices. Her stance on fracking? She rewrote her own history the moment it became inconvenient. And then came her infamous word salad moment. Asked what she could do better than Joe Biden, she delivered one of the most confusing, meaningless rambles ever broadcast. Maher highlighted it because it exposed her perfectly. Lots of talk, almost zero substance. And fewer people are falling for it.
What the bug up there is about IVF, I mean, I certainly understand abortion. You know, there's a baby growing in the womb. I get it. It's going to be a human. Doesn't bother me, but yes, it is. Again, doesn't bother me that it is.
You're not supposed to mess with that. That's what many people think. You're supposed to let.
Oh, I see.
Great man upstairs.
Oh,
yeah, it goes back to that stem cell debate that George Bush had.
Yes.
Remember? It goes like the Terry Schiavo. It's just like life, laugh. Yeah. We support laugh.
Maher isn't perfect either, and here's where he's dead wrong. He openly defends the ending of unborn children, innocent lives paying for the mistakes of adults. That contradiction alone keeps Maher from ever aligning with conservatives. He'll scorch the Catholic Church for harming children, and they deserve criticism. But then he turns around and ignores the harm done to unborn babies. It's hypocrisy, plain and simple. Maher loves calling himself the fearless truth teller, yet misses the most obvious truth of all. You can't champion justice while excusing innocent lives being ended.
What explains Donald Trump's appeal to young men? I saw today that the gender gap, I think, is the widest. I mean, it's very predictable. I mean, the women are much more for Kamala, and the men are much more for Trump, generally.
But it's not predictable if you look at past elections where voters under 30, generally men and women, went for Democrats. This is remarkable. I think to explain it...
Wait, you're talking about under 30?
Yeah, the under 30
What's going
gender
on
gap is very different than past elections. In 20...
Bigger?
Much bigger.
Kamala Harris is bleeding support from young men, one of the very groups that helped push Democrats over the finish line in 2020. And the reason isn't complicated. For years, Democrats have pushed narratives that belittle or outright dismiss men, leaving many feeling unwanted. When choosing a running mate, Harris had the perfect chance to reconnect with younger voters by picking a younger, energetic man. Instead, she chose the safest possible option, offering zero excitement. Meanwhile, Donald Trump did the opposite, choosing a younger running mate and signaling that he values young men. That contrast is massive, and it's costing Harris dearly.
So in 2020, young men and young women voted for Joe Biden at roughly the same rate. Over the last 4 years, and now with Kamala Harris, young women are voting for Kamala Harris at that same level, if not more. Kamala Harris has barely moved the needle with young men. They have gone more toward Trump. There's a lot of reasons for that. I think Trump has exploited culture war stuff. He appears on hyper-masculine podcasts, and he just seems like a fun bro who's not going to ban your zins, you know?
The left still doesn't get it. They mock podcasts promoting healthy masculinity as if strong men are some dangerous threat. But strong men build families, communities, and nations. Weak men create chaos and dependence, and the left keeps pushing society in exactly the wrong direction. America already responded. In 2016 and 2020, millions voted for Donald Trump, a symbol of strength, grit, and unapologetic masculinity. That wasn't just an election, it was a cultural revolt. People were tired of being told masculinity is toxic. They wanted strength, certainty, and confidence. And that desire isn't going anywhere.
This could actually be, this is a real issue for Kamala Harris, though. Like, this could be fatal for her campaign. So if Democrats need to win 60% of the youth vote to win the White House. Hillary came up short. Obama did it. Biden did it. Kamala Harris is right now at like 55% of the youth vote. If she doesn't get to 60, she could lose the election. And it's because young men, Gen Z men, are breaking to Trump.
Kamala Harris is heading toward a political disaster if she doesn't address why young men are abandoning her in huge numbers. This isn't a small issue. It's a time bomb. Young men once formed a core Democratic voting bloc. Now they feel ignored, mocked, and dismissed by a party obsessed with woke ideology and anti-masculinity narratives. If Harris wants a chance, she must cut loose the woke influencers dragging her down. She needs to stop treating masculinity like a threat and start recognizing it as a strength. Until then, young men will keep walking away, and come election day, they'll make their frustrations heard where it matters, the ballot box. At the end of the day, the Democrats' war on masculinity is backfiring. Young men are leaving. Hypocrisy is being exposed. And Maher is simply pointing out the cracks. Unless Harris changes course fast, she won't just lose support, she'll lose the entire election. That wraps up today's video. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this.